Hey there, and welcome back to Scrap with Penny. You might have seen the video I posted about my library of memories and my putting away the layouts. Well, after I finished that project, I decided I really needed to dig into some of the albums on the shelf and see what they held. And there were 3 albums on the bottom that I mentioned that had memorabilia. And so today, I got those off the shelf and I went through them, and I'm proud to say that they are now all empty. And what I'm going to work on next is inspired by a piece of memorabilia that I found. I actually had a whole pouch. This is from Starbucks, and it says 2007 on it. And I don't know, it's very festive. I don't know if we got it in Seattle when we went to the market at Pike's Place, or if I picked it up here. I don't know. I love memorabilia. I love stuff like this, and I've held on to it now for 18 years at least, and I want to do something with it. One of the reasons I want to do something with it is because this is a nod really to times gone past. You're not, in our very high-tech, app-heavy world, you're not going to see something as extravagant as this. And so I'm going to make a layout about it. In that same envelope, I found all of these different coffee collars. Apparently, they used to do them for July 4th, and who would remember that? I don't. So that's something fun. And then here's the standard coffee collar. And I might get a punch and pull this out. This is a coffee collar from the original location in Seattle. Roasting coffee since 1971. The best cup then, the best cup now. And then here are some Christmas collars. And then this was the Red Initiative. So I thought it was interesting that they used to do all these different collars, and I would guarantee you the collars, the thicknesses have changed over the years too. So anyway, this is where we're going. So let me get some papers out. I had focused on the green, and I came up with 2 collections that would have some candidates for me. And rather than show you everything I looked at, I'm just going to kind of show you what I decided to use. So this is a wood grain, and it's Echo Park, and I love it. And I thought it would bring in, look at the wood tones. And then I've got this block. I'm going to do a big block, and I think I'm going to offset it. And I want my side margin wider than my top and bottom margin. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to round that corner. And then I'm going to do a band across the block that's going to go the full 12. And so this is what we'll be looking at, if you can imagine. The reason I want the offset to this side is so that there's weight over here that kind of draws your eye over, because this is a heavy to the left. And as far as photos, what I'm thinking is I'm going to put a little pocket here, and I'm going to get some tags, and I'm going to put photos on the tags. And then I found this fresh in this green from the Berry Fields collection. Simple Vintage Berry Fields. Just, you know, working off of color and not, there's no theme for this. So I have a die that's a coffee cup. And I'm gonna try and use that. This is back from when I was on the design team for We Create magazine. And then here's this little stamp. I don't know if it'll make it or not, but I just searched coffee in all of my supplies. These are some great quotes. This is also from the design team work. But I say, you know, coffee is always a good idea. Coffee lover. Life is too short for bad coffee. I say that all the time. And then these are some items from the Little Things collection by Simple Stories. This is Little Things, and then this is My Story. So I've just kind of pulled these. I don't know if they'll work in any kind of layers. And I've got my eye on this, and I've got my eye on this. And then these are the tags that I was thinking that I could mount a photo on. I don't know if anything here calls out to me, but I kind of like that. So it'll just be a matter of getting, I like this typewriter, the screen typewriter. It'll be a matter of getting my paper down and deciding on my pictures. I have 3 or 4 pictures that I've identified, and I actually had the idea to print them in a sepia tone to match this piece of memorabilia. I'm gonna print the pictures when I decide if they're gonna go in here on a piece of cardstock or on the tag. So let me pause the video and go ahead and get started cutting this background down. So here's where we are. I wanted there to be a substantial piece of green above this and also above this. And so this green, I think, is right at 6 3/4. Well, I've got some of it covered up. And then these yellow strips, I just cut 2 repeats on it, so that's 5/8. You know what I'm saying? I wanted 2 rows, so I just eyeballed that. So I came down 7/8 from the top and 7/8 up, and I think that I'm gonna let this rest right where that black line meets, and then you know, you've got more weight up here than down here. And what I was gonna say on the yellow, I like this yellow because there's yellow tones in this photo. So this could come together really quickly if I can get my photos sorted out. And what I wondered was, have you ever done a layout that's based on memorabilia? You know, sometimes we do a layout because we get a new collection in and we're inspired to play with it. And then sometimes we let our photos drive where the layout goes as far as the story and the collections. So if you've got something that you've been holding on to, it might be fun to get it out and work on a layout on it. So let me go scheme about what I think can fit down in here. I'll be back. I took the 2 cards that were up here, and I've actually got 4 photos. I've got a standalone photo in a traditional 3x5 size, and I've got a white margin on it so that in the pocket it's going to be slightly taller than this guy. I want some staggered height. And so then I've got this photo on the back of this card that was right here, and this one was right here, and I've got this picture of my drive-through at my Starbucks that I go to when I go. We don't go all the time anymore, but I love coffee, and I started drinking coffee when I was about 3 on the lap of my mother's best friend. So I have just drank coffee for a long time. When I started work in 1986, we were working around the clock on a first time through audit, and man, we consume the coffee. So I love coffee. And this is, it's cute because it says your usual. So this is a screenshot out of the app. And this is, you know, what I'll get if I go. I'll just get a latte with heavy cream, and I'll get it hot or iced. and then the bacon and Gruyere egg bites. And, you know, we try and eat ketogenic. And Starbucks egg bites are something you can eat any time of day. On the back of this, I'm thinking I'm going to journal some of what I just said. So that's my second highest element in this pocket. And then these two are about the same size. And I talked about this picture. I wanted the medallion to kind of show, you know, the store logo, and I like seeing that there's a car behind me in the drive-through, because if you go to Starbucks, you know they're always busy. And I love this art on the wall, and that's why I took that picture one day. So that'll go in there. And then I need to do something on the back of this, even if it's just to cover it with some coordinating paper. And this right here is a little tiny 1.5 by 1.5 photo, and it's me redeeming my birthday reward. So this is going to go there. And now I need to tape things down, and I think on this element, I'm going to tape down this side to create this pocket. I'll put a little buffer in here so that my pictures can't slide past where they are. But on this one, I'm gonna leave it to where it can pop up, and I might attach, no, you know, the page protector is gonna hold it down. But if I leave it to where it can pop up, it'll show kind of the original extent of the design, and it'll show the date. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So let me go tape things down. Let me show you how I've got this pocket planned. So I wanted the shorter elements to be sure and show. And so I decided how much, let me take the big picture out. I decided how much I wanted of this guy to show, and I put foam tape right here so that it can't go past that. And then this is going to come in behind it. This is going to come in behind that. And then this will slide in right kind of like that. So I am going to glue this flat, but I'm going to put the rest of this up on foam tape so that it stands up off the page to equal this. And so when I say glue, I mean I'm using this heavy tape, and I'm just putting it here on this flap. Getting the release tape up is sometimes hard. And I did not spray this with archive mist. This is just kind of a whimsical storytelling layout. I don't have any illusions that this is going into the Smithsonian or anything. So it may continue to yellow, I'm not sure, but I thought it would just be fun to document it. So I'm gonna stop now and put my foam tape back here. So I ran it around the edges and then one in the center. And this is a pretty substantial weight of cardstock in and of itself. So just gonna tape it down. What types of memorabilia do you save? I sometimes do a month in review style album, and I was watching an RTS video about her month in review, and she talked about how she has an envelope for her year that she keeps all of her memorabilia in. And I thought, you know, that's really a pretty good idea. So I'm probably jinxing myself by doing this live. Let me move those out of the way. Not too bad for eyeballing it. Okay, so this is now taped down. This still flaps out, and I'm I'm real bad saying gonna. I should say going. I'm going to take this tape off to secure this last little bit. Now, I need to run a little bit of tape under there so that things don't slide out that way. These are the envelopes with zipper that I use to store my memorabilia now by year. And to be honest, I keep 23 and 24 and 25 at my feet because I'm just implementing the system, and I need to corral all of the loose things that are floating around everywhere. So that's why I have the last 3 years. And I'm sure you also have some places in your home where you stash it. And I need to go and dig into those and get everything down here. What do y'all think? I think it's pretty cute. I've got backer paper everywhere. Now on this fresh title, since I popped this up, I'm gonna need to put a little bit of foam here. I like it right there. And I'm debating if I should find some letter stickers that say fresh since 1971 or just let it say fresh. When I was working on my wall of albums today, I opened up my 1999 Disneyland album, and I could see in there the paper tickets we had and how they stamped them with a roller date stamp. And I saw the airplane tickets. And so I think it's fun to capture things as they are now because it's changing so rapidly. So again, this will go under the page protector and it will lie flat. So what I need to work on now is my journaling. I'm back and I think I've got this mostly done. I was going to show you when I was pulling my story to see if it would work with the little things. I saw this green daisy paper, and look, it's so similar to this paper in the little things. So in your mind, when you think some collections are related, sometimes the pattern paper proves you out. So I've got my little cards. You already had seen the front of this. On the back of this, I just cut another card, enjoy the little things, and that is ready to go. And on this one here, this news, wake up and smell the coffee, I had this long stamp and I masked it off and did 3 stamps to get it to fit on this little area. And then I just put some stickers to kind of fill the space. And here, this is my drive-through. And I want the news kind of to show because, some of us grew up with parents reading a newspaper and drinking coffee. And, the smell. So, the smell of coffee perkin'. And here's my journaling. I'll take it anytime, hot or iced, either way is good. I love the simple joy of a little Starbucks. When we lived in McAllen, we did not have a Starbucks from 2000 to 2004. I was elated when they built one during our last few months there. Now they are in every direction of my home, and I have my favorite locale, just like I have my favorite drink. Having been to the original location in Pike Place Market, I find the brand even more intriguing. Folks want the experience, and maybe served up with some egg bites or a warm pumpkin loaf. We get it mostly when we travel. Sometimes Steve will run me one home on a Saturday. I love my coffee every day, and Starbucks any chance I can get it. I'm here for it. And so this is my little usual screenshot. And then I was going to say earlier, when I was dating this photo, I thought, I'm going to check. This was National Scrapbook Day. He is the best husband. Last year on 2024 on National Scrapbook Day, he ran me home some Starbucks. So I think this will all nestle in there. Yep. And down here, I added a little coffee cup. I mean, if you see a green coffee cup with, you just, if there's not, this is the time to use it. There's never going to be a better time. And here and now, and then 2 little flowers. And then up here, I just brought in a pink flower and this brad that says so good. So I've got a little bit of movement around the page. I count this as kind of my other cluster, and it doesn't, in my opinion, need anything going on up there. So I don't know what you think. I like it. I like especially knowing that I have this documented, and this special little treasure that I've been holding on to for so long is now safe and secure on a scrapbook page that I happen to love, and that I think is a reflection of a little bit of our life and a little bit of me. So maybe this will encourage you to go find some piece of memorabilia that you've been holding on to, or, you know, to tell a story about the everyday. You know, sometimes we're real good about telling the events, but some little thing that you do in every day that makes you unique. So I hope that you were scrapping and had some fun with me while I was having fun with this. And as always, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. I'll be back soon with more layouts, videos, and a little stash busted magic. So please come back and crop with me. Until next time, happy scrapping, and remember, this is where paper meets story. Bye-bye.